Hello, booktube. I'm Marilyn Maya, and thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. I'm so excited to be announcing a readathon that I'm hosting for May. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and when Kim of Middle of the Bookmarch approached me with an idea of doing a readathon for Mental Health Awareness Month, I jumped at the chance. This is a topic that's very, very important to me personally, and is to Kim as well. Let me read you some numbers. Mental health, as we know, mental illness is very common in the United States and the whole world. It's estimated that more than 1 in 5 U.S. adults live with a mental illness. That's 57.8 million in 2021. That represents 1 in 5 adults. Worldwide, it's 970 million people. Why is it important to talk about the numbers? Because when we talk about the numbers, we realize that we are not alone. I'm not alone. So I hope that you will join us for this readathon. So the readathon is going to be very simple. What do you have to do? All you have to do is read one book on mental health or mental illness, either fiction or nonfiction, and you've already participated. Let me tell you a little of my story. I have suffered from severe anxiety since I was a child. I was born to a bipolar mother. They called bipolar manic depressive at that time. She loved me very much, but she didn't love herself, and she was very angry. And she sometimes was violent, especially with words, but also sometimes her anger was directed toward me. And as you can imagine, that was very hard to live with. As a child, I was very scared all the time. I was scared of doctors with their tongue depressors, and I was scared of climbing the jungle gym. I would get dizzy. And we used to have these long called L trains in Brooklyn, where we had to walk all the way up to get to the train, elevator trains, and I would always throw up. So this has been a lifelong struggle for me. I got married early to try to escape, but I found out that I couldn't escape my anxiety. It followed me wherever I went, and it began to turn into panic attacks. The first time I realized I had a panic attack, I was buying groceries at a store, and I just was going along with my cart, and I had a feeling of this unreality would come over me, and breathlessness, and I would leave my cart in the store and run out to catch my breath. Sometimes I would go back and sometimes I wouldn't. And this turned into agoraphobia, which literally means fear of the marketplace. So you can imagine, I started staying home. That's what agoraphobia is. You're afraid to leave your house. And, we might have people living next to us right now who are suffering from agoraphobia, but what are we going to do? Are we going to knock on somebody's door and say, "Are you okay in there?" Well, as you can imagine, that didn't happen. And there were times, when I was raising my children, that it was very difficult to leave my house. So I was using my house as a refuge, not to get a panic attack again. And, as I got older, I realized that even though I didn't have the same tools that we have now, I had books and I had writing. And that's how I struggled along and overcame, if there's such a thing as overcoming a mental illness. That's how I did it. So that's my story, basically. Now there's more an understanding of mental illness, but it's still not where it should be. Mental illness is stigmatized in so many ways. I have a son who's severely mentally ill, and I can attest to the part of the story that people are afraid of mental illness, of talking about it. But talking about mental illness is what normalizes it. And that's why I'm here today. And I'm sure that's why Kim is here today, to destigmatize mental illness. At one time, cancer was considered an unspeakable illness. If you can imagine that we didn't speak about cancer. Now we think of that and that sounds really ridiculous. But mental illness is the same way that cancer was just a few years ago. So we need to tell our stories. And the more people that read about books, about mental illness, and it becomes normalized when we start discussing our stories. So both of us, Kim and I, are going to have themes. My theme is going to be the umbrella of anxiety disorders. Anxiety disorders is under the umbrella of, for example, eating disorders, OCD, social anxiety, panic, generalized anxiety, and many more. So I'm going to be concentrating on that theme, and Kim has her own themes, and I'm going to have her announcement video down below so you can check it out. So let's get on to the group read. We have a group read, yes. And I started it already, and I'm really enjoying it. It's very informative and very readable. It's Maybe You Should Talk to Someone by Gottlieb, who's a psychiatrist. It's subtitled A Therapist, Her Therapist, and Our Lives Revealed. So, yeah, even therapists, good therapists, have problems that they need to see therapists about. And I'm really enjoying this book and getting a lot out of it. So I hope you will join us this month. We have prompts. Now let me tell you about the prompts. They can be interpreted in any way that you see fit or not interpreted at all. The first one is disordered. I'm just going to give you a few ideas about what I think of disordered, chaotic life, disordered thinking. There's so many ways you can interpret that if you wish. Caring about other people, caring about ourselves, loving ourselves, caring about the topic of mental illness. And then there's overcoming. I'm not sure that we can totally, at this point in time, overcome mental illness. I think we're closer to getting to that point, but I think that I thought I was free of panic disorder, and just 2 months ago, I had a severe panic attack. So we can get to a point that we think we're cured, but yeah, we're not. I found that out. But we still keep on overcoming, because that's the great thing about life. We can keep on trying. The fourth is discovery. And for this means, we're discovering, or doctors are, a lot of ways or reasons why, is it a holistic disorder? Is it a brain disorder? We're finding out more about mental illness as time goes on. And they used to think it was, well, pull up your bootstraps kind of thing. Then, of course, they said, well, it's a brain disorder, and you wouldn't stigmatize somebody who had a broken leg, so why would you stigmatize someone with a brain illness? But now we're finding out that it's more holistic than just brain. It affects every part of the body. So they're doing more of, they're discovering and treating people with mental illness in a more holistic way. So that's all there is to this readathon, and I hope so much that you'll join us. And like I said, I'll be back with some recommendations, and I'm so excited to be doing this very, very important readathon. And thank you, Kim, for allowing me and suggesting me that I co-host with you. So until we meet in another video, thank you and aloha oi.